I appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate our fans that were able to come out today and create a special environment for our senior class. Senior day is always, an interesting day. I think sometimes those emotions can propel you, and sometimes those emotions can be pretty heavy and hard to fight through. I thought we started off the game against a really, really good Iowa team, really locked in on the game plan. Execution was good. I think Iowa's, a lot of people talk about their offense, but they're pretty stingy defensively. And, I didn't feel like we were letting our defense dictate our offense or our offense dictate our defense. And I thought that was really, really important. We did a good job taking care of the ball. We rebounded really well in that first half. And, I thought the first 3 minutes of that second half was critical. They went on a 13-0 run. We had a couple turnovers. Didn't get out to their shooters, which we knew they're more than capable of shooting that three ball, and just missed some assignments. And they got a little momentum, and they never looked back. But again, a really good Iowa team. They've got a lot of talent, a lot of depth. Proud of our kids, though. It's been a journey, and we always talk about it's who you become as a result of the chase and how we grow, as young women, and through success and through adversity and the challenges that kind of come along with it. But I feel like our senior class did an incredible job of really laying a strong foundation for our culture in that locker room, how we want to move, the behaviors that we think are going to be really important moving forward. And I know I'm really thankful that this isn't our last game and that we have an opportunity to come back tomorrow and get a chance to go to battle with each other again.
We'll open the floor to questions for the student athletes. Mark?
Destiny and Kira, just can you speak to, obviously we know Iowa is a strong defensive team, but how do they do it? What makes them, a challenge?
I think, sorry, you mean like their defense or our defense?
No, yeah, when they're defending you.
Yes, yeah. I think just their tenacity. I think they do a really good job with their assignments, blowing up screens, making it difficult to cut, all those things. I think, just disrupt. They do a really good job. Super physical, all the things, yeah.
Yeah, they're a blue-collar workhorse team. They don't take their foot off the gas and, definitely just play with that intensity, I think, throughout the whole entire season, so.
Olivia?
Destiny, 17 points in the first half, closing out your time at the Kohl Center with a big one again. What were you seeing in the first quarter that really allowed you to get to the net, get three-pointers?
I feel like my teammates were doing a really good job screening for me, trying to get me the ball, trying to get me open, trying to put me in positions to not even just score, but make the right play for the team. And I was able to hit a few today, so definitely think that was a good way to go out at the Kohl Center. I've really had a great time here. Just even walking around, hearing everybody say thank you for being a Badger, thank you for coming to Madison. After a loss, those words hit a little bit deeper, and I'm just really, really sad that I can't go out there and do it again, in the Kohl Center, but definitely just appreciate the opportunity I've had to just be in Wisconsin.
Mark?
During this last month, I guess, obviously the final results have been challenging, but I guess as you guys go into the Big Ten tournament, what do you take from, this last month that you hope to build on and, take to Indy?
Yeah, I think just our commitment to the game plan. I think we're just becoming more and more connected, especially defensively, which is leading to good things offensively. I think we haven't all connected on all cylinders yet, and so that's exciting when we do, just to know that it's a yet, it's not a never, and so just continuing to build on that for the future.
Yeah, just knowing that it's not our last game gives us more motivation going to the Big Ten tournament. I think that, the past few outcomes have been really, really rough, and we come here and, we work every day. So definitely trying to change that with the work that we put in and stay true to our process.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Mark?
I also want to kind of get your thoughts. Destiny, you broke out today. Kira was more of a challenge, but as this Big Ten season's gone on, teams have, probably gotten to know you guys a little more. I guess I'm just wondering what's kind of been, as you look at this last month, what's kind of been, the challenge that teams have presented to each of you as they've kind of learned about, some of your strengths and have tried to take some things away from you? Can you each speak to that?
I mean, I think we've been guarded by some of the best people in the country. That doesn't just happen to everyone every day or every game. So there's a lot of different things that, I think me and Kara both have learned just with how we want to get open and how we need to screen to get open and certain things that we need to do to be successful within our offense. It has been a challenge, though, for sure. We have had highs and lows, and we have had frustrations with just trying to get open sometimes, just trying to get the ball. But I think that with every game we grow, we watch film a lot. So, all those things definitely help moving forward within the season and, going into March, or now we're in March. I think that we've seen it all. So I think that it's definitely getting easier for the both of us.
Yeah, I agree. Like Destiny said, some of the best defenders in the country, and so just learning how to counter it, and then being able to be good screeners as well as something that I've really grown in and wanting to continue to grow in is just being able to create for other people as well. I think is something I can continue to grow in for sure.
Any other questions for the student athletes? You two are dismissed. We'll open up the floor to questions for Coach. Mark, do you want to start?
Robin, I guess since kind of piggyback off that, what have you seen in terms of, how Destiny and Kira have kind of, tried to meet the challenge of teams getting to know them better and taking various things away from them?
Yeah, it's they both work extremely hard. I think it's they certainly are more than capable of playing at this level. I think that first year, we've talked about this before, but not just the physicality, the athleticism, probably bigger than that is night in and night out, how sharp you have to be mentally, physically, and emotionally. And, there's the turnaround so quick, and you play another great team. I think I saw something today that we have 7 teams that are in the top 16 maybe out of the Big Ten that are, in that. I mean, it's just a tough league. Every night it's a grind, and physically is one thing, but mentally, how you handle it, the adversity, not getting too high, not getting too low. I think it's a learning process for them, and I think they both handled it really, really well. I think all great players, have nights when the shot's not falling for them. I think there's some opportunities to continue to move the needle in regards to playing with pace. And, I didn't feel like we did a very good job in that first half of, even though Destiny was scoring well, I thought we could have gotten her some more looks and just understanding kind of who's got the hot hand and how do we put them in positions to be successful. And so I felt like we could have went to her a little bit more in that first half than what we did. But it's been a learning curve for both of them, but I tell you what, 2 incredible young ladies, high character, work really hard, great teammates. I think, we're all proud of just the great ambassadors for this university, do things the right way. They got a lot to be proud of, and, they've had success, and they're going to continue to have success in anything they do in life.
Olivia?
Only 1 year with this group of seniors, but you talked earlier about how they really help set the tone for what you're trying to build here. How have they helped you establish the team culture you want to establish off the court and, the fundamentals on the court that you want to see for years to come here?
Yeah, let me be really honest with you. I mean, I'm really pleased, but I'm a long way from being satisfied. I'm not a super patient person, and we want to continue we got to continue to work. We got work to do here, but we knew that when we took the job. I think for our seniors having, so many new teammates, new coaching staff, we've got some that, had been here in the past with 3 of them that had been here, and that loyalty to this university and our program, I think, is really, really important. And then we've got 2 that just, we only got a coach for 1 year as well, but that we were able to recruit out of the portal. But all 5 of them have been, like I said, just phenomenal teammates. I think they continue to lean into, the standards and the behaviors that we want to move by. Not only really good basketball players, but just incredible human beings and the way they show up. I think it says a lot about people. It's easy when things are going well, but it's, as we all know, it's hard when adversity strikes. And they've never pointed fingers. They've never shied away from taking responsibility. And they continue to lean in our practices have been spirited. They've been getting after it. It's just a tough league that we play in, but really, really proud of all 5 of them.
Mark?
Obviously, you're in the Big Ten tournament. You kind of touched on it, but two-parter. One, just how key is, how big is that? How much do you have to, I won't say celebrate, but just kind of remind your players that, especially the way things have gone, that, something they have accomplished, something. And then 2, I guess I wonder, how do you handle the next, couple days? It's kind of a quick turnaround for you.
Yeah, I think the most home wins we've had since 0809. So, I mean, there's, we've had some really good wins. We've been in battles. Like, unfortunately, you look at the last handful of games, but, I mean, we've played some really great games. Tough loss against Washington. Played really well at UCLA, USC. I think, that says a lot about the people that we have in that locker room. And so there is small victories in there, and I think it's really important to acknowledge those as you continue to try to build a program. But at the same time, you're constantly trying to move the needle in regards to this league is a game of inches, and how just from the execution to the preparation to the sleep to the recovery, like all those things are so important. And we'll continue to move the needle in that area. But in regards to our prep for the conference tournament, again, not everybody gets a chance to go. So March is March, and it's a clean slate. I told them in the locker room, this one's hard. We really wanted it for our seniors, but March is March, and there's always a Cinderella team. I think we've proven that we can play with the top teams in this conference, and we've proven that when we're not assignment correct and we're not locked in, anybody can beat us on any given night, just like anybody else in this league. I mean, from top to bottom, I think it's almost top to bottom. I think there's just, anything can happen. And so the importance of, you almost got to flush it. Tomorrow's a new day. Let's get some shots up. Let's figure out who we're playing. Let's start to talk prep. And at this point in the season, I think you just got to keep it moving.
Any other questions for Coach? Olivia?
Just wanted to ask about the rebounding. Seems like that was something you guys really emphasized. Got off to a strong start with that in the first quarter, and then kind of fell down from there. What did Iowa do really in the second half to keep you guys from getting more boards?
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the frustrating things. When you compare that first half to the second half, I thought that first half we really battled. I thought in the second half, it felt like it was a lot more tipping versus going to get it with 2 hands. We missed some big box outs. And, again, I'm going to go back to the first 3 minutes of the second half. A top 10 team like Iowa goes on a 13-0 run. They got all the momentum. We tried to call a timeout and kind of recalibrate and challenge our players. But they threw that first punch in the second half, and we had a hard time recovering from it. And rebounds were certainly a part of that.
Vince?
Hi, Coach. Just year 1 with this program. How's this season been for you personally as a coach?
Super blessed. Absolutely. Love what we're building here. I think we've got a really awesome locker room. We said from day one, the most important thing that we were going to do is build that culture in the locker room. The most important thing. When you're building a house, that foundation is everything. And so I think we've really established kind of the standards and behaviors and how we want to move for the most part. And now we've got to continue to develop and recruit and continue to build this program. But, you got to walk before you run. You got to run before you sprint. And Rome wasn't built in a day. And we knew You know, it's not an easy place. They haven't had a ton of success here, and so how do we create that energy and constantly move the needle? And I couldn't be more proud of that locker room. I know the outside world, and me too. I mean, especially in my younger years, you look at that scoreboard and you look at that win-loss record, and, you know, everything's defined by that. And I do get that. You know, we want to compete at a high level, and that is important to me too. But I do think, like you had mentioned, you know, celebrating the small victories as you continue to move the needle as a program, I think that's really important. And I'm blessed. I got a great staff. We've got a great locker room. I'm excited about our recruiting, who we got coming in. You know, we've got to get in the portal, and we'll recruit a few. But that's not my focus right now. It's giving everything we got for our seniors and for these young ladies. And, you know, we're just going to continue to work. That's all I know. That's all our staff knows. And we're really excited about the future.
Mark?
And I also want another two-part. I just wanted to ask you about your freshman Doria. These last few games, she's from an offensive standpoint, she's, you know, kind of stepped forward for you a little bit. Today, a different challenge with some bigger players. So one, I wanted to kind of get your thoughts, what you saw from her, and then Nikki Kirsting's kind of, you know, you've been giving her some more minutes these last 2-3 games. And I'm wondering what she's kind of showing you that's led to that.
Yeah, so for Doria, you know, she's going to be a big part of, you know, what we do moving forward. And she's had some, I mean, you know, her last handful of games, she's played extremely well. Tonight was a little bit tougher for her, but playing against some of the best posts in the country. And, you know, we're excited about her. We think she's got a really high upside. And, you know, we've just got to continue to help her stay out of her own way. She's so dang hard on herself. And, but, you know, some of that will come with maturity too and being more comfortable. But Nikki, just a young lady that, you know, we think's got a really big upside too. She plays with different gears. I think she's gotten a lot more comfortable understanding the pace, has been a lot more aggressive in practices the last probably month and change. And so I like how she's really continuing to lean in. Young lady that's trying to get workouts in every day of the week and probably twice on Sundays. She loves to be in the gym. She knows she's got an opportunity in front of her and wants to make sure she's ready when that time comes.